Hello, welcome to Stimulus Checks, Credit, and More.
Please watch this video till the end. We have included news and updates for everyone. Americans could be sent $2,000 every month until the pandemic ends, under a radical proposal gaining support across the country. A petition calling for Congress and President Joe Biden to send the monthly payments until the end of the pandemic has gained almost 5 million signatures on change.org. However, despite the support from Americans, it is unlikely any $2,000 monthly stimulus checks will be passed. It comes as California residents started receiving their $1,100 stimulus payments should see money from the Golden State stimulus package this week. According to the FTB, direct deposit payments are being issued on October 29 with mail checks beginning on November 1. Those who qualify and do not have children will receive $600, while those with children will get $1,100. Emergency rental aid. Emergency rental aid was approved by lawmakers back in June, after passing the pandemic relief bill in December and the $1.9 billion COVID stimulus bill. A study conducted by the University of California, Berkeley estimated that around 6 million people owe approximately $20 billion in back rent. In order to qualify for the sum, applicants must meet some eligibility criteria. According to BGR, a general rule would be not being able to afford your rent or your utility bills because of the pandemic. Potential applicants might either speak to their landlord about how to apply for aid from the Federal Emergency Rental Assistance Program or apply on their own for grants of up to $25,000. Social Security news. A group of senior citizens have demanded to be sent new $1,400 stimulus checks, citing a rise in their cost of living. The Senior Citizens League wrote to its supporters detailing their plans for a petition for the extra cash payments for retired Americans. That came after estimates predicted a boost of 6.2% to the cost of living adjustment, COLA. An increase of that size would mark the biggest surge in monthly payouts since 1983. But that is causing concern for a number of senior citizens. Mary Johnson, Social Security and Medicare policy analyst at the Senior Citizens League, told media. They are worried as a result they could face higher costs in other areas, especially if the income boost pushes them into a higher tax bracket. A non-taxable stimulus check would help alleviate those fears, petitioners say. Johnson said some of the group's members have been forced to eat one meal a day or cut back on their prescription drug support for military families. Military families can get extra support when it comes to childcare costs. Many childcare providers offer discounts for military service members, so it's worth asking when you sign up. Financial support is also available through a program managed by Child Care Aware of America. Eligibility is determined by each branch of service or agency, so you'll need to visit the website to find out the specific requirement. Surprise stimulus. Families with kids under 13 could get a surprise stimulus payment of $8,000 in the form of a tax credit for childcare expenses. The new adjustments to the Child and Dependent Care Credit for 2021 mean that working American families who hit certain requirements will pocket thousands in extra stimulus funds. It covers child care costs up to $8,000, as well as costs for looking after a spouse or parent who cannot care for themselves. This increases to $16,000 in expenses for families with 2 or more dependents. These child care expenses include everything from daycare to after-school programs, to nannies to day camp, and more. Previously, the maximum amount you could claim for multiple children before was $6,000 cash towards broadband bills. Emergency Broadband Benefit, EB, is a program by the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, that provides a temporary discount on broadband to low-income households. The federal program, worth $3.17 billion, launched in May, but so far only around $600 million has been claimed. The help will be available until the funds run out, or 6 months after the end of the pandemic, whichever happens first. The program gives up to $50 off towards broadband bills for eligible households and up to $75 off for those on tribal lands. Some can also get a one-off discount of up to $100 to buy a laptop, computer, or laptop if they contribute more than $10 and less than $50. For those who owe loans for college, the government froze all federal loans until January 2022. There have been 5 extensions of the freeze since COVID-19 shut the country down in March 2020. The White House said that there will be no more freeze extensions and borrowers should prepare to resume payments in January. President Biden publicly stated during his campaign that he supported up to $10,000 in forgiveness. However, the government has not yet forgiven debt for most borrowers, and the president has not recently shared any plan for it. Some Democrats in Congress are pushing for up to $50,000 of loan forgiveness for borrowers. New York's stimulus is just the beginning. A report outlining New York City's recovery plan stated the measures are just the beginning. It said, "The city's decisions to invest these funds now will help keep New Yorkers safe, restart the economy, rebuild the tax base, increase equity, and enable greater economic growth in future years." Officials are also investing $52.5 million in a bid to bring tourism back to pre-pandemic levels. New York Governor Kathy Hochul said at the time, "The Excluded Workers Fund is a critical lifeline to thousands of New Yorkers who were an integral part of keeping our state running during the worst moments of the pandemic. This is an important first step. Payments are going out ahead of schedule to provide these individuals with the financial relief they need and deserve." New York is also sending out payments to residents who didn't qualify for federal aid, such as undocumented workers. To qualify for this payment in New York, you have to be a resident of the state and have made less than $26,208 last year. Artists in the state should have also expected a payment distributed by the New York City Artist Corps in October. Cherokee Nation sending checks. The second largest Native American tribe previously approved a special stimulus for its citizens, as lawmakers continue to debate the likelihood of a fourth stimulus check for all Americans. The Cherokee Nation announced over the summer that its citizens will receive 2 $1,000 stimulus checks over a 2-year period. This funding comes mainly from Biden's American Rescue Plan, which gave states the freedom to spend their sums as they wish. Agriculture Department sends out cash. A whopping $700 million has been set aside by the U.S. Department of Agriculture to compensate staff who incurred unexpected costs, such as having to purchase their own PPE and taking unpaid leave. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack announced the bonuses earlier this month, applauding the social and economic achievement of workers who kept food on the table. They deserve recognition for their resilience and financial support for their efforts to meet personal and family needs while continuing to provide essential services, Vilsack said. This grant program is another component of this administration's efforts to ensure assistance to alleviate the effects of the pandemic is distributed to those who need it most. Thanks for watching. Leave comments below. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.